don't drink.
Impatience is growing and growing, and our frustration is showing, it's showing. But yeah, we keep going and going. But it's felt like forever. We've done it over and over. Will we ever reach the end? How can we get through the night? Do we have to fight? Wake ourselves, spark the willing night. Maybe we can redefine
Hello and welcome everybody. It's Sunday evening, which means it's time to wrap up the Misfits Formula Race week here with Formula 2 around Abu Dhabi, the Yas Marina circuit. We've been here all week long. Joining me to wrap up the F2 Championship is Mr. JA Games. JA, how are you doing this evening, my friend? Don't know if JA is having a bit of mic trouble there, but it is the championship decider. It is the final race of the season, or races. Obviously, we have two races. We've got Brainstew versus Macca. It was close to being wrapped up last week. Brainstew nearly clinched it, but he didn't. So Macca, if he wants to win, he needs to outscore Brainstew by 33 points. I think Jay might have fixed what was wrong with his mic. So Jay, how are you doing? Any predictions coming into this one?
I'm sorry, I was muted. Yes, obviously I just feel it's going to be Brainstew again, certain his dominance over this series the last couple of weeks. But it should be a good race. Obviously it's very sad. We're near the end of the F2 2020 life cycle. All of our divisions have ended this week, and the F2 season is over after today.
Yeah, absolutely. It all comes down to this one. You know, it is a decider. We love to see a decider. It seems unlikely for Macca to win it here. It's possible though. There's 48 points on the line. 33 he needs to outscore Brainstew by. So that's the real kicker. I don't doubt that Macca could score 33 points. It's the fact that can he outscore Brainstew by that much? He needs Brainstew to have at least one bad race. And that is something that we haven't really seen too much of. And even when he does have a bad race, he has a habit of clawing it back. So we'll see what happens. One-shot qualifying, of course. And I think for today's race, we'll go on board with one of the two championship rivals. Just to round everything out. Like you said, it's the last round of not only the F2, but the season as a whole. Everything else is wrapped up. All the tier divisions are done and dusted for the season. The combined constructors, obviously, this doesn't have any weight in that. Was wrapped up last week, or over the last week, I should say. And as such, it's on to, you know, the next season. Bigger and better, as always, is the aim. But the endurance series will carry on throughout the off-season as well. And there'll be plenty of community races around in the Discord as we wait for the drivers to adjust their setups. Obviously, it's one-shot qualifying. They have to get it all done and dusted beforehand. Select their tyres. But here we are. Let's put us on with Chingan here, but we're going to go on board with the championship leader, Brainstew. In his last hurrah, he's on the super soft compound tyres. And as is everyone but Dimitri, who's gone for the soft. So a bold call there from the Carlin driver. But in the Uni Virtuosi, the wheels glimmering under the lights here at the Yas Marina circuit. It's Brainstew taking us through a lap 5 and 6 then. Guang Yu Zhou's car as he gets it to turn 7. A bit deep there, though, for Brainstew. He's dropped all the way down to P9. Macca, though, all the way down in 11th. Brainstew getting a nice exit out of the wide line, affording him a little bit of extra exit speed. Puts him back up to P6 now as he hurtles down this long straight, down into the speed trap, and, of course, into turn 8 as well. Plenty of overtaking opportunities through here, through 9. Getting him out across the DRS detection point before turn 10, and of course before the second DRS zone. Plenty of switchback opportunities to overtake into turn 8. You risk getting overtaken into turn 11, which is here. Brainstew braking nice and early, getting the car turned in through 8 into 9, now out of 10. 13, sorry, I've completely messed up the chicane that we're at. Now, coming out of 14, Brainstew up into P4 now. Macca, he's climbed a little bit. He's up into 10th place, but right now, this is not the outscoring opportunity that Macca needs. If Brainstew was to get the 4 points of pole, that would make Macca's life even harder. Right now, it looks like Eruption will get that, but it depends when everyone started their laps, etc. You can see a little bit of shuffling, but usually the top one is a bit indicative. Psycho jumps up. I think Eruption's had some sort of issue. There's a lot of shuffling right now at the top spot. It looks like it's going to be Psycho, and it is. A 147.1. Back row 147.3 and Brainstew 147.4. Macca, he secured P9 in the end after Eruption had some sort of problem. I imagine a DSQ, and he just sort of dropped the lap, but P3 for Brainstew. Championship leader. No points for qualifying for him. Those all go to Psycho there on pole position ahead of back row. Brainstew starts third. Scars in P4. Domi P5. Noel in P6. Chua in 7th. Eric in 8th. The two Spaniards there alongside one another. Maka, the Welshman, the runner-up right now. Can he make it the winner by the end of it? P9. And Yags in P10 there. But right now, J8 looking very, very, strong for Brainstew. You expected just as much. 2 races. He just has to keep his composure.
Indeed, indeed. Obviously, the 4 points for pole were taken off the table for both drivers, but Brainstew's definitely 1-0 up so far. He's got the better position on the grid. Mac has got his work cut out, but a lot can happen in this feature race. So hopefully we see lots of exciting action coming up.
Yeah, everyone now just getting those strategies finalised. You've got, just 2 tyres available to them, or 3 if they want to use the wets, which for some reason I think we just saw propped up on one of the tyre stands there. But for the most part, we're going to see the one-stop mandatory pit stop here in this race. Obviously, can't be served within the first 3 laps or under a VSC either. And VSCs have sort of been the nature of this week. We've had a lot of VSCs, not too many full safety cars though, but it's 5 red lights here on in Abu Dhabi. And it's lights out and away we go then. Psycho back row on the front row. And it looks like back row's got a much better start. The launch from Eric in the other Universiosi has been absolutely sublime. He is already up into 6th place. Brainstew there very wide off behind Psycho. As we come through the opening few turns, let's have a look. Everyone jumbling into position. Brainstew drops to Domi down into P4 for him. And you can see now a lot of positions that have exchanged hands. Maka going for a bit of a lunge there into the inside of turn 5. And there's a car off into the wall. Eric, he had a great start. He now finds himself facing a wall. I think that's Domi off the track. Moen as well dropping a huge number of places. Domi was indeed down 5. And I wonder if there's damage on that car. It doesn't look like it from a visible standpoint. Psycho, a bit of a run on back row as they go down towards turn 8. But my, oh my, a very, very action-packed start. That Domi problem, of course, Brainstew to go back up into P3. There's a yellow flag behind. Who is that? It's the wrong... It's the Scars, but it's Varrock who's had the issue. Eric as well, that damage from earlier on. You can see just a huge bundle of cars. Moen trying to charge his way back up the field. Domi in there side by side. Moen with a little bit late on the brakes at the inside of Yags here. There's 2 cars, both side by side here, and Moen a bit of a slide. He loses the car. The other cars behind managed to avoid. And it's all going on here in the bottom extra. I think Williams just tapped the rear here of Dimitri in Yuki Tsunoda's old car. Scars gets past Striffium, and Striffium, he might lose 2 places here later on the brakes of the Canadian. Very, very nicely defended there into 17, and now Williams going to have another look the Carlin here. This opening lap has been absolutely superb, mostly clean. There's been a few issues here and there. Well, I say that, I might have said that a bit too early. There is eruption of Chingen as well, I do believe. And Eruption's been disqualified for driving the wrong way. That seems a bit unfair. But JA, look at the separation between the 2 packs we've got here.
Wow, what an opening lap that was. We've definitely got 2 groups.
Remco's
out. Oh, my word.
Big crash there on the entrance to turn 2. You can see him on the right-hand side there. That is a full safety car. Oh, no, it's just a virtual. I'm surprised because that car is very close to the track. It is in the wall, but it's very close to the track, and we'll see if anyone picks up a drive-through or something of the sort here. Maka, great start for him, up 3 places there. We were talking here, we've got the softs and the super softs available. Let's have a quick look. Striffium, a VSC penalty, a drive-through, and he will not be best pleased with himself after that. Scars, a great launch on the VSC. Gets past Yags there, and can he just hold it into the corner? Late on the brakes, could come out from Yags. Is he going to do it? It looks like he tried, but Scars just holding him there. And we'll take him around the outside, keeping it in P8. A bit of a slide, though, and it turns into a spin. And Yags taps him, and that is damage for Yags. I think Scars is okay in terms of that, but his tyres will probably be overheated. Brainstew has caught Psycho who's dropping off massively from back row and has a penalty as well.
Wow. Non-stop action for these first 2 laps.
Brains just into the rear of Psycho. Almost caused Psycho to spin around. I apologize for the interruption there.
It's okay, man. What an opening 2 laps we're seeing. So much action going on. Brainstream and Maka are still doing what they need to do. There's a massive separation now between the top 6 and Domi in 7th. There's been a lot of things happening here. I mean, the field is very spread already, just due to the nature of the first couple of laps.
Absolutely. Varrock a bit late on the brakes there, struggles. And now he's just lost the position to Moen. Moen looking at Williams now. I think Williams might have a bit of damage. As Jeff comes into the pit lane to serve that drive-through, presumably. I don't think there is damage on Williams' car. Just struggling a little bit for pace there. Back row. He's done exceptionally well in these opening laps. Really starting to break away here. And that is sort of the nature. The super softs here, they only seem to be working for back row. Everyone else seems to be struggling. Here goes Brainstew on Psycho. And it's a brilliant move there to just get past. And the Uni Virtuoso, he slots himself into second position. And if he finished here, I do believe that would wrap it up. He wouldn't even need to participate in the final race. Obviously, we very much like him to. Moen, well, he finally finds his way past Williams there. That battle's been going on for about a lap and a half now. But Williams, he doesn't want it to give up. And on the soft takes a huge late break. Lunges at the inside. Moen's not having any of it. Clips the front, though. And Moen nearly loses into the wall. So, just a bit more patience needed by both drivers. And they've brought the 2 Dams cars into things. Varrock goes at the inside. Scars tries to make it 3 wide. Thinks better of it, but it's going to take his teammate around the outside of 11. Through 12 they go. And a little bit of contact there between the 2. Varrock still trying to find his way past Williams, and he might just do it on the inside here. He doesn't, and now Scars is going to take the pair of them. The South African, what a move. And on the inside there, you can see Dimitri. He is in the wall. Brainstew, he's in the grass. He's lost an end plate, and this is not what he needs to do. And Maka now in front of him.
This could change the complexion of this championship battle. Brainstew's going to, obviously, he's going to take his pit stop now. But he's going to be held up a bit with the front wing damage. The only saving grace. Oh my word. Yeah, he's gone wide again. He's had a few adventures in these opening laps. A lot of changing going on at the moment.
This is very, very action-packed stuff, and
hard to keep up and know where to look. I mean, we've got Varrock on Williams at the moment, coming down into the first chicane, turn 6. Not turn 6, turn 5. But I don't think he's going to get the move done there. Obviously, DRS has been enabled in all this, so now we should see quite a lot of moves heading on this back straight down to turn 8 and then again into turn 11. So the action starts heating up, Unicorn. So let's see if Varrock can get a move now on Williams. He's got a lot more speed coming out of that hairpin. This should be an easy overtake. He's already down the inside. He's got the DRS. He's going to get this move done. I think just ahead, Moen had a look at Scars, but held back. But Varrock now is past Williams. Williams, though, will have the chance to fight back into the next chicane. Just needs to keep on. He's got a great run out here. He's going to have the DRS down this straight now, and he looks like he's going to have a chance of the move. He's going to be around the outside. So Varrock might be able to switch back him into this chicane, but we'll see what happens as they come down now. Williams has got the route clear. Varrock had no answer there, so these 2 have exchanged position twice in the last 2 DRS zones. Wonderful stuff.
Yeah, he is facing the wrong way. Huge portion of damage on his front wing. Varrock and Williams again exchanging. Williams up into P9, but Varrock not having any of it. And Suits back around. They're still side by side as they come through 16 into 17. Williams late on the brakes. Takes a lot of the inside there. Would be surprised if that was not a warning. Exchanging up ahead, Noel has got past Stewart, and I wonder whether this is the start of the softs being a little bit faster than the super softs. Noel taking a bit of a chunk out of back row as well. So I think the softs are really starting to become into their own, and Noel leading that charge. Psycho, he's into the pits getting a new front wing after that incident earlier on in the lap. Things breaking up a little bit. All the action starting to die down as everyone gets themselves orientated, start settling in. We've had some very, very action-packed first few laps. Noel He's got ahead. Can he stay ahead here as Stewart comes down into turn 8? Not anything he can do, though, about Noel ahead. Other battles, Varrock, Williams, they're still very much at one another. And it's Varrock on the rear of Williams. He will have DRS here as we come out of turn 7. The S&P car ahead. The Dams now will look to the inside, I think. There he goes.
Yanksy's gone off.
I think he's called it in the pit lane.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
And it goes up the inside. Varrock just too early on the brakes. It's not so often we say that. He has got damage, though, on the front wing. And still, though, getting a nice drive out of turn 9 through 10. And despite the damage, fending off the SMP racing car off Williams nicely. Oh, and Williams just manages to avoid going into the rear of Varrock there. That was close, though, Jay.
It was indeed. I think Varrock learned from the last time. He held off the move on the first DRS zone and then made the move in the second. And now he has the whole lap now to try and get a bit of gap on Williams before they get back there. But Noel is now leading after Batrow's taking his pit stop. Batrow, of course, had a good 4 or 5 second lead on this, so he's looking very comfortable at the moment. But a VSC or a safety car could change all that very quickly.
Yep, championship leader Brainstew just made a move on Strivium. Striv served his drive-through penalty, now sits in P10, so this could still be a good result for him. Just needs to try and get inside that reverse grid, you know, those top 8 slots, and points on the line for him in both races, you would expect. Starting P10
he's definitely in there. We got a point today if he stays there, and obviously, like I say, if he gets that P8 reverse grid pole, he'll be very happy with that, I'm sure, after taking that unfortunate drive through.
Yeah, everything now just sort of spacing itself out. You expect Psycho to start catching, but he's wide. Here, Striff on 5-lap-old soft, Psycho fresh super softs. So he will have the pace advantage. Top 4 still yet to pit. That's Noel, Maka, Domi, Scars, Brainstew. Well, he's in 9th. If he gets into that top 8 as well, which I imagine he will do, whether it be on track, which, again, possible. Dimitri retires in the pit lane. But also, there's penalties ahead of Brainstew. Let's have a quick look at that situation. We've got 8 seconds to Chua, 3 seconds for Rock and Williams, and Psycho here, who we're on board with, also has 3 seconds of penalties. On early days as well, plenty of time to pick up some more. Plenty of time for other drivers to pick up penalties that they don't currently have. But it's all a case of just keeping it in between the lines as Psycho has another shake, really struggling and wrestling that car around the circuit. Just doesn't seem composed. There it is. Eric picks up a 3-second time penalty. And the Spaniard won't be too thrilled about that one. Was that Noel, I think? Yeah, it is Noel. Spun on the start-finish straight. Damage on the front wing. And that is unfortunate for Noel, who I do believe debuted last week. He's having a good drive here.
It's a big chunk of damage out of that wing. It's fortunate for Noel. It's his birthday today, and he probably wanted a good result. But that's going to hamper that, unfortunately. Just one other thing with the whole Brainstew situation. He's on the super softs. Now, the question is, can he actually get through the final laps on these, or how his tyres going to hold up against all these new soft runners? That's going to be a key battle, I think, at the end here. So I don't think it's plain sailing for Brainstew yet. He's going to have to nurse those tyres towards the end of this stint.
Well, he's just tapped the rear of Williams here. The super soft's giving him maybe a little bit too much speed. Psycho Striff may exchange behind, but Brainstew gets Williams there. Striff in between 2 cars. He's just been overtaken by Psycho. Is he going to be overtaken by Eric as well? Well, there goes the Canadian picking up a 3-second time penalty of his own. Eric just got his a few moments ago, and Psycho's had one for quite some time now. Striff, though, doing well to hold up the Uni Virtuosi.
Indeed, he's trying to just hold on to that battle for P10s. He needs to try and keep in Psycho's DRS, so that'll help him when he's battling with Eric as well. So they'll think these 3 could end up battling to the end for that final point at this moment.
Well, there it goes. You can see Eric, the Spaniard, dancing all over the rear of Striff. Might have faked the move well enough there to force Striff a little bit deep. That's compromised Striff through the chicane compared to Psycho. Eric, though, can he take advantage ahead for Rock? Brainstew exchange. Brainstew up yet another position into T7. There's a bit of contact between Eric and Striff. Striff manages to save it. It's done well, very well to do so. Eric is at the inside, is into P11. Sheffield will not be happy about that one. But both drivers still in this as Noel comes into the pits, not only for fresh tyres, but also for repairs as well. You know, one thing he does have, you know, a saving grace here is that there is a big gap between as Schiff goes very, very deep into turn 17. And again, just kicking himself there. A little bit of a mistake. Don't want to be making too many of these, but points still on the table for him.
He's got no penalties so far. That might... Oh, he has got 3 seconds, unfortunately. So, that's not going to help him. But he probably didn't need... He probably going deep, obviously, not helped him. He was on that battle, and now he's sort of dropped off. So, that's unfortunate for him. Noel's come out. He's going to probably just fall in behind Striff with those super soft tyres. So, he's got a bit of... He's going to have his work cut out to get back through this field and get back into the points. And maybe he'll be looking for that P8, get that reverse grid pole, and then maybe he can win the sprint race.
Yeah, I think a win here would be a pretty nice present to oneself, and we'll see whether he can do that. Was on for a podium. Sadly, there, a mistake, and speaking of mistakes, Shiffiam is round on the hairpin. Just cooked the tyres, I think, there. Psycho on Williams again. Another move in the works for the ART. There you can see Williams is coming into view as these later on the brakes of the super soft, affording him so much more traction out of turn 9. And it's hello and goodbye from Psycho to Williams, and there is nothing Williams can do about that one. Now Maka is leading things, and he is 2.4 seconds ahead of Domi, and importantly is head and shoulders ahead of Brain Stew.
Just going to be interesting where Maka and Domi come out when they pit, because they may still be in for a shot at the win here. But kind of at that little point where now we're just waiting for a few final stops to play out, and then we can get into the final act here. But Williams is line up and move on. Oh, Eric's moving up. Oh, Eric has gone down the inside of Williams into the final turn. He's got that move done. Very brave, but it's paid off. Eric, of course, on 2 lap fresher tyres, and that's obviously helped him there. But a very brave move by Eric to move him up into P9. Ahead of Williams.
Yeah, and here goes Psycho, you know, on the super soft, still charging. And just the traction that he has got right now on these purple rim tyres are unbelievable. It is just powering him through this grid. Obviously a bit further down than he would have liked to be after that mistake, but if he can keep it going like he is doing, still on for a good finish here, considering the top 3 still yet to pit. And obviously Noel had a crash before he pitted, but he dropped quite substantially through this grid, so the pit stop still, you know, a little bit concerning for the guys ahead, but they will be on fresh super softs before the end of things, so
yeah, I mean, I guess the front 3 are hoping for an actual full safety car. VSC won't help them at this point, and that could actually be detrimental if it comes out during their stop, so you'll have to pit again at that point, I think, due to the game. But Noel is slowly catching on Williams now. He needs to do what Psycho's done and really use his super soft advantage to get through these soft runners. Psycho has got about 6 seconds to catch up on Brain Stew, so I don't think that's going to be possible at this stage. But Noel is now on the back of Williams. Might be looking for him. Sorry.
Rock and Eric just exchanged, like you say, Noel though on the rear of Williams here. And Williams a little bit skew whiff coming out of 18, and now at the inside of 19 goes Noel, taking full advantage of those tyres and the mistake from the SMP racing car. And there's the 3 seconds though for Noel, and he will not be happy with that one. Psycho into the pits again, as is Brainstew. Those super softs will not be making it to the end, and that calls into question, will Noel's go to the end? They should do. Be a little bit touch and go there when we get to the checkered flag. Top 3 yet to pit. Here goes Noel around the outside of Varrock, coming through turn 3, and nicely done there. And he keeps just putting on good overtake after good overtake. That mistake plus the 3 second time penalty now might be slightly costly.
Yep. But he's doing what we said. He's worked his way through a couple of the soft runners. He's now hunting down Eric, and he's got to use his advantage right at last because these will equalise, and then maybe in the final laps he'll be on the defensive trying to hold these people back. But I was surprised Brainstew kept. Well, I guess Brainstew answered the question I posed earlier. Were they going to make it to the end? He didn't think so. He's come in for a fresh set of super softs, and I guess he'll try and work back through the field in the final 6 laps.
Yeah, the question is, can he carve through enough to get into that top 8? There is quite a lot of time separating all of them, but here come the leaders into the pit lane. Well, I say the leaders, it's just Domi at the time being. It looks like Scars might be following the Hungarian as well. So the South Africans following suit. They are in. Back row will get both of them, and it's been quite the commanding race from him. The problem he has now is he will be on the slower tyre in the later stages of this race. So we'll see what happens there. We've seen how powerful the Super Soft is, especially when fresh. So he might be a little bit of disadvantage, but we'll see. We'll see how everything pans out for him. Right now, though, it's going quite well for him. Speaking of fresh Super Softs, well, the penalty's not stopping him. Noel on the rear of Eric now. He has been pushing, and it's been paying off. It's closed right in on the Spaniard ahead of him. There's Scars. You can see his name coming out of the tunnel. You'll see his car in a moment. The dam's on the other side of this great barrier. Where is he? And there it is. The South African just ahead of the fight for P6. And given the tyre advantage he has, shouldn't be under any pressure at all from the drivers behind. But he's got to be mindful that they're there.
It's probably critical for Scars that he did get ahead of this battle because he really does not need any hold-ups now. He's got 10 seconds from Domi, but he just needs to pound those laps in and see what he can get out of this race now. And same for Domi as well. These two really got to use those super softs in these final laps. As Noel now, he's big elbows out by Eric there, but Noel's holding to him. It looks like he's got the move done, but Eric's going to have the comeback now with the DRS down into turn 11. See if Noel can hold on. He's definitely using his advantage of super soft. I think he's got enough gap here. I don't think Eric's going to have a chance to move into the braking zone. In fact, he hasn't unless he goes for a late lunge. Nope.
Just shows the wrong angle there by all accounts. He was never going to get that car in. And that's cost him here. And Noel, like you say, sticks ahead.
No
one on Brainstew, and I imagine Brainstew will be quite comfortable in defending this with the tyre advantage. Macca's into the pit lane. We'll see where that lands him in all of this, but again, he'll be on the faster tyres. Brainstew now just 9.7 seconds off of where he needs to be, but in reality, with the penalties applied, well, he's actually only 6.5 seconds behind, so we'll see how that plans into things. Back row now with a 9-second lead. Macca currently coming out in P3, might get taken by Domi here, but I don't think he will. And Macca, the Welshman, is continuing just to do everything that he needs to do. He's got 4 laps, 7 seconds to P2, but Chua has 8 seconds of penalties, so...
Yep. So the net P2 at the moment, if you can keep it in between the lines in these final laps. Macca's doing all he can do to keep this championship battle alive. Unfortunately, you see Brainstew now up to P7. It's looking difficult, but you never know. And I think we should also point out that Chua's had a wonderful race. P2 at the moment on the road. I know he's got the penalties, but he's doing a magnificent job. Kept out of trouble, and got himself in P2 at the moment.
Yeah, now everything's sort of separated a bit. We'll see whether Macca can catch it. Brainstew, well, he is up into 7th now after a couple of pit stops. So he will be with a strong reverse grid. There's 44 points on the table, including those from this race. Obviously, neither driver got the ones from the first race. And right now, Macca on to outscore by Brainstew by quite a large portion. Not a huge amount. And it's going to be close. If Brainstew can pick up a couple more positions, which I don't think he will, he would have to close down 12 seconds to the cars in front. And that seems, even by Brainstew's standards, impossible. Unless, of course, there are mistakes on the cars ahead.
That's what I say. He's going to have to rely on all the drivers' misfortunes, I think, to move any further forward at this stage. Strithium is getting close to Williams for that final point, so this could be a key battle now in the final laps. Can Strithium He's had an interesting race, a spin. He's had a drive-through, but he still might get a point out of this, and that would be a wonderful job given all the adventures he's had so far.
Yeah, and he doesn't even take this position on track. He has got 3 seconds less penalties than Williams. It's 6 seconds for Williams, 3 seconds to Striff. I was so glad that that wasn't disproving my point with the Scars who picked up 3 seconds there. As we come through under the hotel there, the big Aramco banner above. Williams super slow compared to Striff here. Striffium just has all the pace. The Canadian switches to the outside of the penultimate turn. Through turn 20 they come. And Williams, well, it looked like he was going for the pit lane there, but turns out he was just going for the inside line, maybe even letting Striff by there. So Striffium up into P10, and a point is on the cards once more for him. He will be happy about that, you would imagine.
I don't think anyone would ever be disappointed in a point, especially when you've had a drive-through and all the other adventures. Williams maybe did make an easy job of it and let him go, but Striffium's done well to drive back here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Interest. Just with Scars getting that extra 3 seconds, I was hoping maybe Noel could close in, but he seems to be dropping back a bit, unfortunately, on Scars. So Scars looks like he's got maybe P5 wrapped up unless he picks up more penalties, but it seems to have settled down a bit now in the race. I think back row definitely has commanded this drive from the start. He's sitting pretty 10 seconds up the road from Chua, who at the moment is going to lose probably maybe 2 spots on the road. He might lose the podium if Domi can get a bit closer. 5 second, he's got a 5-second penalty difference at the moment. So that's a key battle there for that podium. It'd be very disappointing for him if he does lose out on this podium, because he has driven very well, very anonymous, just keeping out of trouble so far.
For sure, and you're gonna keep it all, you know, as much as possible on the on-track action. We'd love to see a little bit more, but right now it's all sort of like you said. Everyone's got into their rhythm. As it's pushing on into the pits again. He's in 13th, and there goes Striff. We said he was back into the points. We said it too soon. The Campos driver spins it around, end plate off, and he will be annoyed with that one for sure. The Campos driver just getting it back on track now, crossing it onto lap 14 for himself. I imagine he is not best pleased. He's down into P12 and out of the points, out of the reverse grid. What do you do at this point, Jay? It's just...
It looks like he's just going to ride it out. He'll be very disappointed in himself. Rock now, though. He's fighting Williams for this final point, so we have some little action at the end here. I think Rock has he's got that 1 lap pressure on the tyres. He's going to have a good chance of getting a run down here with the DRS down into turn 8. So we'll see what happens here. Rock now, he's closing already on Williams. DRS is open. He's probably going to have to keep tight to that gearbox and move out at the last second if he does get close enough. Or he can maybe play it smarter and wait for the second DRS zone down into turn 11 to get this move done. Just needs to keep it nice and closer here. He seems to have done that. Nice exit so far. He's only 3 tenths behind as they go to the second DRS zone. Rock now. He's getting closer. He's getting closer. He's on the gearbox. He's going to have to decide. He's going to go on the inside. He's going to the outside. Williams has gone on the outside. Rock is on the inside. Williams will have an advantage into the second part of this chicane. Rock gets a 3-second time penalty out of this. And he's spun.
He's collected Williams to boot.
Oh my word. He's spun, but this might give Striffium a chance to get back into this. Wow, we thought we were having to calm down, but Striffium now on the back of this. Now, who's going to get this final point, Unicorn? Who's going to get it? 3 people up for it.
Well, the thing is, who's got the least damage, I think, at this point? Striff's got damage, Williams got damage. I don't know if Rock actually got anything from that, so... For Rock with a good chance. Let's have a quick look at the penalty situation, because they're now right close on track with Striff. He's got 3 seconds, Rock has 6, and Williams has 9. So, as it stands, I think Striff might be in net P10. So, the Canadian, not all hope lost for him. He does have quite substantial damage on that front wing, though, and that might lead to him picking up more penalties. They're on the penultimate lap now, and he's dropping back down. If he could stay within DRS range, that would help. If these two ahead fight even more, that would help him too. Right now, the leader of this, Williams, has the damage. Varrock doesn't. There you go. You can see Williams going wide, just sort of following him. For Rock and Williams side by side here. Striff could take advantage if this goes sideways, and sometimes it does as they come through turn 5. Williams gets ahead. Striffium around the outside of 6. Looks for Williams into the inside of 7. Fakes him.
move.
Williams goes wide, and Striff might get the pair of them here. Williams still very wide. Doesn't get the traction though, and Striff has taken the boat for Rock now. Gets Williams. He's going to get Striff as well, and Williams might make it 3 wide as they come down towards turn 8 on the penultimate lap. You've got Williams there all over the gearbox, onto the brakes. Striffium's much later than the other two. Williams is later than Varrock, and Williams is through. Varrock is down to P12. Williams is now looking at Striff for the TRS zone down into turn 11. Varrock is coming back as well. There goes Williams up into P10. Striff is down into 11th. For Varrock's on his inside. Striff, though, again, last of the late breakers here in this battle. Varrock holding on to P12. Remember, Striff has the least amount of penalties out of all of these guys. And right now,
I don't think he cares at this point, Unicorn.
He needs to be patient if he wants that point. But like you say, the battling is all on. Here he goes to the inside of 16. And is he going to go late on the brakes into 17?
Oh.
Well, Williams very, very wide. Striff forcing that
Oh,
mistake nicely. And Varrock comes through as well.
Wow. What a last lap this has been. Oh my word,
It's the
these
penultimate
three.
lap. They've got to go
these three.
again.
Oh, they've got to go again.
They've got to go
Oh,
around
man.
again. It's the leaders on the last lap. This is the penultimate lap for
Oh
these three.
my word.
Here
Oh my
we
word,
go.
Unicorn. I don't think my heart can take another lap in this one.
Well,
Wow,
Williams has
wow.
dropped out. He's below 1 second. And this is good news for Striff. Williams has got damage, and he's really been struggling with Striff has it as well. And Varrock already looking like he wants a piece of Striffium. Doesn't get it through there. Lifts off through turn 2. Tries to get it back with a better exit from turn 3. Down towards turn 5 now. Back row's already won it. Fireworks popping off for back row there. But we're going to go back down to the battle for P10 because it's provided so much drama in these late stages. Here goes Varrock on the inside of Striffium. Gets the move done. But Striffium is going to have that run down instead of Maka Domi promoted ahead of Chua, who loses out 2 places on the penalty situation. Just loses out to Domi by 0.14 of a second there. Scars P5, Noel P6, Brainstew 7th ahead of Eric. So Brainstew in that reverse grid picks up some points as well. Well, see, they haven't actually finished the race just yet. Moment on the rear of Eric might actually get him on the penalty side of things. But here goes Striffium looking for it on the inside of Varrock. Varrock just opening the door there. And Varrock lags backwards. Striffium up the inside. That's thrown him off a bit, and he loses the traction. He loses the rear end. He's got thrown off there by the lag. That's so unfortunate for the Canadian. There's actually a yellow flag ahead.
Seconds? Does he lose the 3 seconds now? That's the key. Oh
he's
my
on
word,
1-4.
what drama. What drama this has been. Varrock, Striffium and Williams go for that last penalty. And someone's reset to track.
Who is that?
It was
it's
El Chin.
He's been having a poor race, to say the very least. He's just been lapped by everyone left on the field on the last lap in just 16 laps. And Striffium, well, he's 2.1 seconds behind. He should get promoted here. Williams, well, that secures Striff from behind. He gets another 3 seconds, but here he comes across the line, and he does. Striffium scores the final point. Varrock 11th. Williams will finish in 12th, I believe. I don't think he's in. Well, that's an unfortunate way to finish it, but
Oh, he retired at the end of the looks of it.
just smacked it into the wall there. We switched us on
Wow.
board with Domi in P3, but what an end to that race. Dried up a little bit in the tail end of things, but now we'll see what happens in the sprint race. We're going to go around again a little bit shorter. No mandatory pit stop, but back row. What a commanding drive from this man right here. The Trident Motorsport driver lifting the trophy atop the top step of the podium. Maka P2, that's important for the championship. And Domi there in P3 as well. But right now, brilliant drive there from back row.
Maka's got 10 of the points he needs. Can he get? I don't think he can actually get the 33 now, unfortunately.
I think, like you say, well,
I
he gets 18 for P2.
Yeah, but Brainstew got 8 because I think he got the fastest lap as well. So Brainstew may have actually just wrapped up the title. Not confirmed. We'll have to double check that. But
I think
you know, we got so wrapped up. We got so wrapped up in that final point battle. I don't think we talked enough about what a great drive back row had there. And like I said, Maka doesn't like he's done enough, but he did everything he could to keep this battle alive by the looks of it, and he's got a P2. But man, I want that sprint race to start right now, Unicorn. I'm so ready after that wonderful end to that race.
Yeah, absolutely. A commanding drive, like you say, from Backer. The strategy really carried him through. And Maka from 9th on the grid to P2. A great drive. Superlative effort. 18 points. He needed to outscore Brainstew by 33. There were 48 on the table. He's only secured 18 out of a possible 29 so far. And I think that might have wrapped things up. But, well, we'll do the maths at the end, I think.
Yeah. Moen has got the pole for this sprint race, so it should just all right. P8, no penalties. He did a very good job there. Now he's got the rewards of the sprint race pole, so we'll see what he can do from there. He's got Brainstew beside him. Let's see if it's as action packed as the first couple. That's that feature race. My word.
Well, we know Moen as someone who can start a race very, very well. He seems to have that sort of in his repertoire. We'll see whether Brainstew alongside him can get the run into turn 1 and maybe down into turn 5 as well. It's important. Something about these sprint races, once everyone's got into that groove, it tears you straight out of it and puts you back in a colossal group of cars, and that can sometimes ensue with a little bit of chaos here. It also looks like we return to the daytime here at the Yas Marina circuit, something we don't usually see because obviously it is a night race in the F1 car. But given that you have 2 races here, we are in the light. And speaking of lights, there's 4 of them, 5 of them lit here for the last time this season. And it's lights out and away we go here for the final race of the Misfits Racing League Season 4. And it's a great start for Moen. Like we're expecting, Noel holds on to P3. And he'll be happy with that. Eric up 3 places already. Who is that dropping down? There's been a bit of contact behind.
Brainstew's off. He's caught the back of Moen. Oh my word, Brainstew at the back. It's only Stryfium as well, actually.
Noel and Scar side by side, and Noel getting a bit skywards, just manages to avoid Domi there, who goes very wide and is very sidewards and keeps it out of the wall, and is actually pointing in the right direction for the corner. So nice save from Domi. Scar's drops back behind Noel, and here comes Eric for his 6th overtake at the race start. No holds barred from him. He finished 9th. He was just 1 place away from starting pole here. Scar's late on the brakes, takes it back on the inside, but can Eric find his way through? No, he can't. And my goodness, this race started just as dramatic as the last. Back row now. What a drive he had in the last race. He's already got 3 places here. Can he make it 4? Both he and Eric have had a great start. And there's Scars ahead, side by side with Noel into the chicane. 11, 12 through 13. And we've got a safety car just out.
Ah. And a full safety car. Wow.
What has happened here for the Canadian? Well, there he is on the inside.
He's lost it out of the... well, I don't know how he's managed that, but... it was down the second DRS straight. Whether it was contact or not, it's hard to tell. But he did have a spin, so maybe he had hot tyres. But it's disappointing end there for his sprint race on lap 1 as we have a safety car. And we can have a little reset now, because... what an opening lap.
Oh, and we have a little bit of a problem, it would seem.
Migrating the host.
A migration of the host, so I don't know if there's some sort of problem there with the lobby. Backrow and Psycho have had a big crash, it would seem. There is a monumental error with Remco Van Puten's AI, it would seem. So I think we are going to be restarting the lobby. There is absolute carnage here on the pit exit on the final corner. There is a graveyard of F2 cars. And I'm not quite sure
it's a final race.
There.
It's a final race, so why not, eh? It's... wow. We are going to have a restart, though, so... just, we'll get that lobby sorted. It's good for Stryfium, because it gives him a second chance.
It's just a second... it's the second coming of Freeware here, who got saved by a restart in Tier 1 on Thursday, the final race. He managed to score points, I believe, after that, but apologies, ladies and gentlemen, just hold on for a few moments here while we have to get the lobby restarted here for F2, and that means we have to reset the grid, make sure all of that is all okay. But in the meantime, it's been quite the action. Thank you to everyone watching along. If you're enjoying it, please do like on the stream and subscribe. not only do we stream the F2 and the APEC here on Sundays, although that's going to be stopping for a bit because of the off-season here at the Misfits, but we do post all of our race replays, highlights, and when we get into our new season in the new game, obviously a lot of content around that, track guides, etc. So be sure you're tuned here with the notification bell on, and there's massive shout out to our partners as well, Next Level Racing. If you're looking for a sim racing rig, wheel stand, or motion sim, be sure to check them out in the link in the description below, whilst we just get ready for, another go at the sprint race here. We've obviously had the feature race. We don't have to redo that. That does open up the field to a little bit of opportunity on the tyres, etc. As we just try and get everything in. I don't know if there's a problem with the session right now. It doesn't look like I can get in, so hopefully that sort of fixes itself. But at the time being, there we go. We've got ourselves into the lobby, and that means that just got to wait for the custom grid to be reset. And this does take time as we wait for everyone to get in and situated in the cars, etc. Obviously, it's first come, first serve, not a set grid. It's a community race to the F2, open to anyone in the Misfits Racing League Discord. And obviously, there's a lot of other non-streamed races as well, practice races, community races of the sort, and in the off-season I'm sure there'll be plenty of those going around as we just wait for everyone to get back in here. JA, the first race was good. We've seen, one race start. We're going to get another. It's just been a very, very chaotic evening.
It has indeed, and like I said, this restart is going to give some people a wonderful chance to basically undo the bad restart they may have had in the first sprint race. And I'm sure a few people, Eric, Moen, probably disappointed they've had to restart because Eric was flying, Moen was happily in P1. So see what we can do with the restart. But man, it's all action tonight. All action. It's just been so great to see. And like I said, a great community event by the MRL. And it's just sad that this is the final race for now.
Yeah, it's going to be a few, weeks until we kickstart all the action back. Obviously, the endurance will still be taking place over on the Twitch channel as well. So not a complete lack of racing. As like I said, there'll be stuff going on in the Discord, so make sure you're in there. But it has been not only for F2, but for the F1 races as well, the tiered action. It's been a great season. 22 rounds, very, very long calendar. Obviously, with the next game, we've got, a few new tracks coming at a later date. So calendars will sort of shift as we go through the game cycle. But, that gives us a lot to look forward to. A few track layout changes, I think, will be coming as well. The new car liveries, a lot to look forward to in, the F1 space. And there's a lot of other exciting features in the game, that we're looking forward to.
I think everyone's looking forward to the new game Unicorn, and they'll be bigger and better in the MRL next season. Yeah,
absolutely. It just gives, it rejuvenates some life. I know a lot of people, sort of, now that we've gone through this whole calendar twice, they're looking for that little bit more, spice. The new cars as well. It just brings a whole new life into things, re-injects everyone's passion, excitement for everything. And we kickstart off with the new season. Honestly, it's been a while since we've been to Melbourne, Australia. Mikau earlier in the APAC said that win was his highlight of the season. Obviously, home Grand Prix for him in Australia. But it's been a while since we've taken action in the MRL to the streets of Australia, because we didn't have it in endurance this season. Obviously, that race got cancelled in the real world, so we didn't do it yet. And when we haven't been there for 22 weeks, it seems like such a long time ago. And it'll be much closer to being that time once more. But a lot to look forward to as we just get the grid set up. And hopefully it doesn't take too much longer. But again, thank you all so much for your patience. And we'll get racing back going in a few moments.
Indeed we will. Indeed we will. So I definitely look forward to seeing some of these new tracks in the game and seeing how the cars handle. That's another thing with this new game. It resets everything. I think a lot of people have probably eked out the maximum that you can get out of F1 2020 with 3 setups. and just driving ability, and everything just going to reset. So it's going to be a very exciting uh, new season. You know, who knows? Maybe people who we weren't maybe on the pace as much in this game could find themselves at the front in the new one. You know, it's a complete reset. See what happens. So still waiting for this live. I think we're still waiting for some drivers to get in at the moment. So apologies for everyone who's watching. So we have this delay.
Yeah, and the F2 cars as well. Obviously, they'll be switching over, but I think the pace differential, just a bit of wishful thinking there for you and I. The off chance that we are at the front next season would be very, very much appreciated, and I'd welcome that with open arms. But
we can live in hope, Unicorn. We can live in hope.
For that dream to be slashed down in 3 weeks' time, when
who knows?
Was it July 14th rolls around, and although there are new mechanics in that game as well, but change up racing as well. Fuel, not as, you can't adjust the fuel modes, etc. It's all sort of ARS and raw pace. Everything's a little bit different, and it looks like we're, getting a few more drivers in. I think we might just about be ready to get going here. We are indeed. So we do have the lobby back and ready to go. 20 seconds on the clock. And as such, that means racing almost ready to get underway.
It is actually going to be classed as another feature race due to the way the game works. I think at 25% you don't have to make a pit stop, but I'm not 100% sure on that, so we'll see what happens. But we're nearly ready to go again, Unicorn.
Absolutely, and the restarts so far have been very, very dramatic. The opening laps have been nothing short of just non-stop entertainment. And we might get a slightly different lap count to what we were supposed to get as a result of the, like you said, the feature race now, or the sprint race now being considered a feature race, I should say. Shorter distance also means that we're back under the floodlights. It's nighttime once more here in Abu Dhabi, the Yas Marina circuit. So what we thought was the last light sequence of the season was actually not. So we're going to have it one last time here. And, well, it should be the final time this time. And as much as it's sad to see it go, hopefully it is the final time, because we do want to see this race unfold. And we want to see it unfold without any issues and 5 cars piled up in the final corner. But there we are, 10 seconds on the clock. No formation lap. It'll all be action from the moment it starts. Exactly. So here we go. No mandatory pit stop. There we are. Moen on pole with Brainstew alongside him. Once again, it's 5 red lights here for the last time in MRL Season 4. And it's lights out and away we go. Brainstew not getting the start he had last time. And Scars and Noel already on him. Scars around the inside here. And there's Scars up into P2. Noel not able to get him. And Noel's had a bad exit out of turn 1. Domi on the rear of that. Not able to take advantage just yet. And Noel's just struggling there to keep the car under control. Domi switching as well. Strifium, can he find anything? Eric on another charge, this time up the inside into turn 5, and he's already looking to make some moves. He's tapped the rear of Remco, though. I think that was... Or was it Maka? It was Maka, I think, actually. And Maka drops. And there's his championship hopes pretty much out of the window here as we're on board with back row side by side with Domi. A great charge from him. We'll see if he can do anything here. He's up 1 place. Eruption's up 7. So he's taken the torch from Eric for dramatic starts. Scars getting past Moen on the opening lap here. So a worse start for Moen. He will be a little bit dissatisfied with that. Like you said, he won't be too happy with the restart, but he drops to P2. Brainsuit still on the rear of him there, and you'd expect to see that pass sooner rather than later. But a poor race start from Brainsuit, drops 1 place now. And he's lost it to Scars, and that means that the South African can start to run away a little bit. A lot of action going on further down the grid. Remco Van Putten under pressure from Strifium and Williams. Both drivers here. There's 4 cars going down into turn 11. Williams gets past Strifium. Maka not able to follow suit. Gives Striff a little bit of a bit of a bump and go there for championship runner-up. And he is hungry to get all his way up this grid. Brainstew up the inside of Moen. Moen very wide. Noel's going to find his way through as well. And Moen just leaves enough space. He got very close to just spinning Noel there, but just about avoids it. Domi can't find a way through. And as such, back row now looking at the rear of the Hungarian. Strifium Again, a yellow flag. I think that's for the Canadian once more. He's not out of this race, though, this time. And he's got no damage either, so a better first lap for him. But he might not be thinking that.
His car's still running, so that's definitely an improvement. What a good, another action-packed first lap. I was going to say at the start that it was a very clean one, and then they must have read my thoughts because then all hell broke loose. But no, Moen's probably going to be very disappointed with that. You know, his first start, he was flying easily in P1, and he's managed P4 already.
Well, here goes Domi for P4, and Moen down to P5.
Yeah.
What a move there from the Hungarian back row. Had the popcorn to that one. And
Back row's probably wanting to get Moen into this turn if you can. But Moen's actually got a run on Domi.
well,
So
here he
Moen now on
goes.
the inside of Domi. There's no DRS at the moment either, so it's going to be all on who's got the lowest wings and who gets the best exits. But Domi holds on. Moen now, I think, has actually probably got a poor exit. Maybe back row now can do the move that he maybe wanted to do down that first long straight. Back row goes to the outside. Whether he can get close enough or not.
Oh, there's been a problem
We'll see.
further down. Williams. He's spun round, but not a terminal. And that car looking okay. But Moen there, going back to him. You saw him come through 8, and he was trying to, fight Domi. Wasn't confident on the brakes, and then corrected himself between 8 and 9, which cost him a huge a lot of time there. Steering just a bit twitchy in between those two corners, and just lost him a lot of time. He needs to be careful with that.
It does, and there's a bit of a gap now. I mean, he's already dropped 1.5 seconds to Domi since then, and back row and Eruption will probably want to try and get past him as soon as possible. They're right on the back of his gearbox at the moment. Back row probably wanted that move done earlier, but he might have fancy his chances this time. We're going to have DRS from this lap, so that's going to help them both, I think. So we'll see if they can set up moves into the long straight down to turn 8.
Yeah, and whether it's mathematically over or not, we didn't quite get the chance to do that. Well, we did have the chance, but we took the chance there to talk about the 2021 game. We didn't really think about that one, but, well, there goes Williams tying it in the pit lane. Out of this one, we saw Williams do that in real life earlier on today. And, well, there goes back row and Eruption. Well, I'd like to say they're side by side, but they're very much not side by side. They are one and the same. And there goes back row down into P7 with a little bit of a Terminator-esque move through the car. And now later on the brakes for Eruption, just holds off back row there.
Back row's probably getting a bit frustrated here. He wants to go that road, but he's stuck now in this battle with Moen and Eruption. Eruption himself will probably want to hopefully get Moen into this turn. He's gone on the outside, so hopefully he's going to try and go late on the brakes because back row also has a late brake. And no one's through. Moen is holding this P5, and actually Eruption got a time penalty out of that. I think Strithium has spun again, unfortunately, at the back, so he's certainly not having the best of times in this sprint race, unfortunately, after that wonderful drive back to P10 in the original feature race. Eruption now, I believe, has just hit the back of Moen. So it's getting very feisty now. The desperation for these two to get past Moen is ramping up, and they're getting a bit more desperate on these moves, maybe a bit more lunging. They need to be a bit more patient because they don't want to pick up damage.
Well, the problem they have is that back row is so close to Eruption here. Eruption has to stay glued to the rear Moen, and that compromises his exit out of a few of the corners. And when you've got a compromised exit here, you need to just, get on with it. And if you've got a bad exit, then you just can't do that. So Eruption needs to time his move here. He could even get him up the inside of 5 if he times it right, but Moen needs to just be a little bit faster on the straights. And Maka, he calls it in the pit lane. The championship is well and truly over. Strithium speeding in the pit lane. I imagine we're going to see a similar thing there. There it is. He retires in the pit lane as well. Moen just so much slower through turn 7, but because of that, Eruption just can't find a way through, and now back row might find a way past the car in here. Yuki Tsunoda's car under threat here as we come down towards turn 8. And here we go around the outside. The Carlin looking to try and finally get past Moen, and he does. You got to say Moen's been caught and back row. Moen just turned too far to there, just trying to open up the corner a bit too early, I think. I don't think he realised where back row was and finds himself in a wall. That is so unfortunate there. Moen
there were
all
no
the way down
winners
into
in there.
11th.
No winners, unfortunate for back row
a
there.
back
He's had
row
another
into
incident.
the
Oh
Psycho.
my
Remco
word!
collected there. And I think that's just misjudged
Wow.
braking. And just...
That's
My
a horrible 2 corners for back row there. Horrible 2 corners. So Eruption, in all that, Eruption did get that P5, and he's away now. Linus in P6. Eric chasing down in 7th. Remco fighting Psycho for that final point at the moment.
Oh, and who is that? Remco Van Putten. No, was it Remco Van Putten going into the rear of Psycho there? I think it might have been. Just about hangs on there, but you can see Moen dropping now. He's dropped to Varrock. He has got quite a substantial amount of that front wing missing. Back row into the pit lane now. I imagine Moen will do the same, and he does. But my goodness, what a dramatic part of that. We are on lap 5 of 8. Not too long to go. And it's been one heck of an evening. A very, very enjoyable F2 race.
And they haven't disappointed. Some great overtaking, some great moves being shown, and some very interesting moves as well. It's Remco now. He might have a rundown on Psycho and Eric. So they're down in towards turn 8. I believe Psycho is going to be the first car with a chance. Oh, sorry, Eric's got the move on Linus, sorry, and he's closing in with the DRS. So whether he's going to shoot to the inside, he has. He's really gone deep on the brakes. He's got that move done. Linus trying to get back on the outside. Linus though might actually be. I thought Linus was going to be susceptible to Psycho there, but he seems to have held on him. He's now got the DRS and he's back on through Eric. And Eric may lose 2 spots here after thinking he was going to gain 1.
He's late on the brakes and he's tapped Linus as a result there. Eric, 2-second time penalty, multiple warnings, and he's around. And there goes Remco Van Putten looking on the inside, and he's going to have a slide as well. And the traction here in the Yas Marina circuit seems to just be a little bit worse for wear. Everyone's going for a little bit of a slip and slide. It's like an ice skating rink at the moment.
Into a war of attrition unicorn. Who's going to have the most front wing at the end of this one?
Well, you can make a strong case for Scars, who's just been out of the front since lap 1, since he got that great start, got past Moen. And it's all been just brilliant stuff from there. He got past Brainstew as well. Brainstew, well, he had a terrible start to this race, but his race pace has kept him well and truly in this one. And, well, he will be champion at the end of it. Regardless of where he finishes, it's been a great season from the Italian. And, well, it has just been...
Psycho there. Sorry to cut you off. But yeah, I mean, you know, people might wonder what a Brainstew is, but you look in the dictionary, I'm sure it says a fast Italian. But a wonderful campaign by him. He charged down Macca's point advantage in the final few races. He's done an absolutely stupendous job. He's a Psycho now. Will he get a nice run on Linus into the turn 8? He's got the DRS. He's a bit far back maybe. He might have to take a nice lunge down the inside if Linus leaves that space open. Linus though covers off the inside slightly. But no, Psycho's gone for it. Down the inside. He's got the move done. He has. Oh, a big slide. Big slide. That's going to put Linus right back on him. And also probably put Remco in a chance here, because I think Linus has had to check up slightly. So just to go down to turn 11, who's gonna have the position here? All 3 of them. Linus has got it on the outside. Psycho holds the inside. Remco just waiting to see what happens with these 2. Oh, Linus has gone round. Linus has gone round. And Psycho takes P6. Remco P7. Eric now up to P8. And Linus has dropped down to 9th and out of the points.
Yeah, Remco's still on the rear of Psycho. He'll be looking for the position there. And well, Domi still trying to apply some pressure to Noel, but Noel penalty free. That could help him in the end of this one, because we are closing in, you know, the penultimate lap of the race of the season. And it feels weird to say that. Remco Van Putten, 2-second time penalty there, as it looks like Varrock has had a bit of a problem in the damn car. We can't sit. There we go. He's getting it turned around underneath the hotel. So giving everyone there a little bit of a view. Brainstew now on the rear of Scars. He's closed that gap up. He should have DRS, though, the telemetry. There it is. Showing us that he does have it. And he will get a push here. But can Domi get a better one on Noel? He was close to coming out of turn 7. Noel looks to the outside. Swings around to the inside. Doesn't want to move too much here. But he's allowed to move once. There he goes, trying to come back towards his line, but he can't move under the braking. And, well, he holds on to P3 for now. But Domi much, much closer once more. Now DRS again, back row. Fastest lap. He's on the super soft compound tyres. And you could just see right now the positional gains. Well, Noel hasn't changed in this race, but he will now. He drops down to P4. He started third. And so far, so good for the birthday boy. And, oh, he's going to defend it hard against the Hungarian. He might just hold on to P3. And defend he does. And the young Swede, giving the Hungarian a really good run for his money there, and holds on to the podium position, the final one. And with the penalties that Domi's got, if Noel keeps this up, well, he'll stay on that podium. And they'll be very, very happy. Brainstew, even if he's got 2 penalties, it won't be enough, because we do have, obviously, a different penalty sort of scenario here where penalties are lesser because of the shorter race. It's a 25% feature race rather than a 50% sprint race. Lap count, almost the same, but as a result, the game gives out lesser penalties. We're on the final lap. The final lap of MRL Season 4, ladies and gentlemen. And there are plenty of on-track battles here. We have got Brainstew versus Scars for lead of the race. We've got Tier 2 runner-up against F2 champion. And we've got Noel versus Domi for P3. And, well, it's been a great season. One last lap to wrap it up there. Brainstew, a little bit of curbing on the inside there. Might have just compromised his exit a little bit. But DRS down towards turn 8. Let's see what he can do. The Italian is absolutely charging, and he goes through on the inside of the Dam's car. But he's got a penalty, so really it's a little bit futile here, and Scars is going to have the run into turn 11 as well. And what a great exit he has got as they come out of 9 into 10. And here he goes on the Uni Virtuosi. Noel is still ahead of Domi by a hair's whisker. They're side by side behind. We can't see them from here. Scars looking around the outside of Brainstew. They don't want to cost themselves too much, because if they cost themselves too much time, well, Noel might get Brainstew on penalties. But he's fighting with Domi, and all of these exchanges have it. Noel of it sideways. He just needs to make sure he stays within 2 seconds of Domi here on the last lap. It shouldn't be too difficult, but he needs to be careful here. Moen, well, he's nearly got lapped here. He is only a few corners ahead of the leaders, who are still battling, because Scars is getting a bit skew-whiffed. Brainstew is going to try it underneath the hotel, and here he comes on the inside of 19. Just sneaked his way through. It is a little bit futile. He does have the penalty, but Brainstew, JA, you asked me what he is. If you ask me what a Brainstew is, well, he's a race winner here. He won't win it on penalties, but he is the champion. And in the final race, the fireworks are triggered by him. Scars gets P1 on penalties. Brainstew P2. Domi, well, I think he beat Noel to the line, but they're side by side here. And Noel gets the podium on penalties. Domi P4. Eruption there steams into P5. Psycho in the other ART will cross the line 6th, and judging by the gap behind, Remco and Eric are still fighting, and they're going to bring Linus right back into things. Linus, no penalties, will get not only Remco, who's just been disqualified from the session, bizarrely, in the final closing moments of the race. Eric will cross 7th. Linus will get promoted into that position, putting Eric to 8th, where he started things. Back row, well, he is going to come home in 9th, and just the huge gap behind. I can't imagine he's got enough penalties to demote him there. But my, oh my, what a race. That was absolutely incredible for Rock. Well, he's at P10. He'll cross the line in a bit. He's in Sector 3, as is Moen behind him. It has been an utterly entertaining season, an utterly entertaining evening of racing as well, Jay. I think you could agree.
Oh, definitely. What a race. What a race. Both races have been a great entertainment for anyone watching. And thank everyone for watching this race and any race of the F2 season and all our races this season. Congratulations to Scars picking up the win there. Brainstew, congratulations on winning a championship. And wow, I think we need a few weeks break after that one, Unicorn, and then we'll get back on it.
Yeah, I think we might get a few donuts here from the last couple of finishes. Moen on the off track, getting a few in. Varrock as well, trying to do some. Not quite got it down quite as well as Moen's got there, but celebrations afoot. And there it is. There's Varrock. Moen. He's going to join him, I think. I don't think Varrock wants to lose the position. Doesn't realize that Moen's got got the penalties here. But there it is. That is the last car to cross the line in Misfits Racing League Series 4. Season 4, not series. It's been a long season. It's been a fun season. Eruption, our last driver of the day. The in-game award going to the driver with the most overtakes, of course. And there it is, Scars. So it's been a great season for him in Tier 2. He rounds it out with a win here in Formula 2. Brainstew alongside him, the F2 champion. The Italian taking that title off of Alex Biddo, the Spaniard, who sat where JA is sitting tonight. In many of the F2 weekends, it's been, you know, a brilliant season. Brainstew, a thoroughly deserving winner of the champion. Just beats Maka here, who retired in the last race of the season. Very unfortunate to see that from the Welshman. But it's Scars in the final race ahead of Brainstew. Again, points here a little bit skewed with, so I'm glad that we don't have, you know, Maka and Brainstew close, because that would have made things very confusing for our mental arithmetic, James. But it's Scars, Brainstew, Noel on his birthday picks up a podium. He'll be happy with that one. Domi P4, and a big shout out to Domi, who is the F2 organizer. You know, it's a big job, and we're grateful for him, and obviously everyone else involved in putting together the Misfits Racing League. Eruption P5, Psycho P6, Linus P7, Eric P8, Backrow P9, Varrock in that last scoring position, but it would be Eric the final point scoring position. Then we have Moen in 11th, the last of the finishers. Maka, Striffian Williams, and Remco Van Putten took part in this. But with that being said, that is it for, well, F2 Season 4 as a whole, JA. It's a weird thing to be saying. It's been quite an excellent season, and it's just been, you know, thoroughly entertaining from start to finish. Obviously, the first full season for the F2 obviously started out, you know, as a community series, got put on the Twitch channel, then moved over here to the YouTube, and now rounded out for its first season. I do believe it will be returning for next season. It's a community event, so if you want to be part of it next season, be sure to get yourself in the Discord. It's not the only community event. It is one of two, though, that is streamed alongside the Endurance, which will continue throughout the Aussies season, and we'll be back next Saturday, which is our next race. It feels weird to have such a long hiatus between races, but that is the next race. That'll be Striffium and I in the commentary booth for what I believe will be a Canadian race. I'm not sure if it's quite decided. It'll be Canadian-Austrian Grand Prix, depending on what we decide, because obviously it's a double header at Austria at the end of a triple header for F1. But, JA, any closing remarks before we round things out?
Just like I said, I want to thank everyone who has watched the Misfits Racing League this season. My first season here, been wonderful. And like I said, we've got the Endurance Series next week on Saturday on Twitch. Join us from 11 PM CET. And thank you very much for everyone. And we'll be back Season 5, bigger, better than ever.
Absolutely. JA, thank you as always for, you know, hopping into the commentary booth. It's been a pleasure on the few occasions that we have been together here in the commentary booth. Obviously, a big thank you to Alex Biddo as well, who's usually here. Like I said, Domi as well for organising it. All the moderators, admins, marshals, directors now that we have who organise this league. It's, you know, a great place to be. And if you're not in the Discord, make sure you're in there. Make sure you're subscribed here on the YouTube and following along on the Twitch and all the other socials. Links, I do believe, are in the description. And a big shout out to our partners, Next Level Racing, who joined this season. A massive shout out to them. And, you know, just check them out on the link in the description if you're looking for a sim racing rig, wheel stand, motion sim, flight sim, all of that good stuff. It's been, you know, brilliant to partner with them this season. And it's just been an awesome season as a whole. Lots of things new this season. You know, the combined constructors. A lot more to look forward to in Season 5 when we go across to the 2021 release of F1. There's a few races left in 2020 in the game with the Endurance Series. And like I said, some community events which probably won't be streamed throughout the off-season, but will be there for those who want them. But that's it from me. That's it for JA. That's it from all of us here for Season 4. We'll see you in Endurance, and we'll see you in Season 5. But thank you all so much for watching. And as always, we'll see you in the next one.
We are back. We are back with some Tier 1 action.
And that is the AlphaTauri of Adrian straight head on into the Red Bull. And the Kyle Bacchini has joined the party, and he's on these medium compound tires in the Merc. This very late braking from the Ferrari. He locks up and he blocks Zamis. And who is that? That is Jean with a fantastic exit, and he is going to get ahead of both of them here. So I believe it's crossing the line now, checkered flag. Adam and Bajar in the first two to catch it early. Vettel now rounding the final two turns of 22 and 23 here in Singapore. The Racing Points collect the 1-2. Battery, there goes Ben the Bear now just ahead, taking the checkered flag, coming through the Casio triangle. It's still wheel to wheel between these two. Mick out with a great traction. Oh, what a run out of the chicane, and he gets it done. How's the exit for the Ferrari? Good so far. You can see wheel to wheel coming down the straight into turn 4. It's the Ferrari leading through. Ben, wheel to wheel now with Revo, and he has so much pace in this Racing Point right now. It's wheel to wheel between these two. How's somebody gonna go? He's drifted off. Does the exit? What an exit out of the Williams. Does he get him? Then there's a big snap. Jake looking on the inside of 8 and 9. It's the Mercedes coming around the outside of 9. Does he get this move done on Tim? This is huge. This is absolutely massive. A drag race coming through 10 now, down into 11. Here we go, and Zamis has the popcorn.
So Yukio tries to turn in, and Domi just says,
Oh, the stars.
goes for a second.
What a move from the stars. That is the Renault of Van Putten up the inside of the Williams into turn 1. Freeware's gonna get Yoda. Freeware's gonna get Yoda.
Yoda wins the race!